Okay, I'm going to do a tutorial on how to solve the last two centers on the 11 by 11. Just make sure that your first four centers are solved. Obviously, this is only for the last two. Okay, the way I solved the last two centers may be a little different from most people, but it seems to work for me, and I think it makes sense, so here we go. The first thing you want to do is solve this entire row to be solid blue. So I'm going to start doing that quickly. Just find, pieces in the top face to help you do this. Okay. Now see that I have this solved now. Now keep it vertical, and now what we're going to do is look for other rows that are almost completely solved. So for example, I see that on this face, this row is almost completely solved. So just work on making this row completely solved. For example, I see I can move this piece up here, so I'll do that. Now move this out of the way, and then move this back down. Now keep going. There's this piece that belongs there, but you can't move this up out of the way and then back down, because yes, that solved this row, but it messed up the the vertical row that you had here. So I'm going to undo that and show you the correct way to do it without messing up anything you already solved. You need to get this piece opposite across from the row where this is, so you can move this piece up, move this over, and back down. Now this piece is directly opposite of here, so now just rotate it like this, and now you can move this piece up, flip this around twice, because it doesn't matter if this is oriented right side up or upside down, it's a straight line either way. And then when you put it back, this is solved, and this is also preserved. So now you can just put the solved row into the blue face, and just keep looking for rows that are almost solved. So I see, for example, this second row is almost solved. So I'll go ahead and start building that row. This is, a pretty intuitive process. So just keep looking for pieces that'll work. For example, I see this piece can fit there, so I'll move this over, up, over, and back down. That'll solve that. Now again, we have the same situation. We need to solve this center piece, but it's down here, so we can move this up, rotate it twice, and then put it back down. Now that row is solved. Now I'll put that row into place. There we go. Alright. Anyway, just keep, it's kind of tedious, but just keep looking for pieces. I see, for example, this row is almost completed, this fourth row from the top, so I'll start solving that one. Most of this is, just looking for pieces and completing rows, although it does get a little tricky in the end. Alright, so this row is solved, and now I'll go ahead and put this row in place. Now, since there's only a third row left on the left side anyway, I'll go ahead and solve the third row. So I see this third row is already pretty much started, so I can add to that. Let's see. And now again, we have the same situation. This piece, we need this piece up here, but we can rotate it up, flip it over twice, and then put it back down. And now put this row into place. You're pretty much always, in fact you are always going to want to solve one entire side first. That'll make, because the right side gets a little trickier toward the end anyway. So anyway, now to start solve the right side, you just keep doing the same thing. So I see that this third row from the bottom is almost completely solved, so I'll try to solve that. Alright, so here I have all but the centerpiece missing, and it's here. So again, we need to get it across from here. So move this up over to move this piece right there, and then put it back down. Now again, move this layer up, flip it around, and then put it back, and that will solve this row. So go ahead and put that in place. Let's see, what else? Alright, I'll start solving this top row, because that has 4 pieces in it already. Let's see. Alright, this is where things start to get a little tricky, because we're running out of room down here that we're going to have to start kind of breaking and reconstructing what we already have solved. So, for example, I see that this piece belongs there. See, if I rotate this, this piece is right here. So what I could do is I could rotate this up, over. No, wait, that's wrong. I'm sorry. Start this place. Now you can rotate this up, over, and back down. Now that solved this piece, but it messed up. Actually, in this case, it didn't. But see, there's still this row that you kind of have to worry about. So I know that this isn't completely solved yet, but still, put it in place. And now, this row, like, it doesn't always happen that this piece, usually this piece is not solved anymore, but it doesn't matter, because when you put this piece back in place, you can rotate this up, and that piece will be there again, you know, and then just put it back in place. And now, take this part back out so you can keep working on it. Let's see. Alright. Here we have another case. I can put this piece will belong there, so I can rotate this over, rotate this up, over, and down. Now that solved this piece, so I can remember, even though this row isn't solved, put it in place, and now just put this row back in place. Now, once more, take this out so you can keep working on it. I have one more piece, and it's located right here. So I'll move this up, over, and down. Now, notice that this time, this is the first time this happened actually, this row that you just took out, you scrambled it slightly because this piece isn't there anymore. Turns out that doesn't matter, because just follow the steps I told you and it will be taken care of. So this completed row, put it in place, and now this row, rotate it so that it's horizontal, and then rotate the third layer up, because this wasn't in the third row, and then so now this is, you know, completed again, and now you can just put it back in place. So now we have 2 more rows to go. There's this one, this horizontal row. I'll start solving that, see how far I can get before we have to do some destruction and reconstruction. Looks like that's about as far as we can get without. Yeah. Alright, so I see that this piece belongs here, but you can't, no matter which way you kind of, if you rotate this up and over, like no matter how you rotate it, you can't replace it. So what you first need to do is, I kind of try to think of this as a virtual row. Like if this piece were solved, how would it be in that row? And it would be this way. And you can't ever have two parallel rows. So what you first need to do is get it perpendicular to it by doing this. Now that piece is there, and now its virtual row is here, and the actual row is here. So now they're perpendicular. So now you can work with it. So you can rotate this row up, over, and back down. Now, again, even though that this isn't solved, put it in the row that it would be solved in. And now this row, I know that this piece is gone, but again, you can still reconstruct it from here. Just put this up and then put it back in place like this. Now this row you're still not completed, so take it back out and look for the other piece, which is right here in this case. So again, rotate this row up, over, and back down. Now you have this row solved. Put it in place. Now here's the row that you just destructed, but you can reconstruct it by doing this. Rotate it up, over, and back down. Now we only have one row left. The second row, I guess I'll start. Doesn't really look like it matters too much because there's 3 here, 3 here, and 3 there. So I'll just start with this one, with this row. I'll just go off of this one. So here we have the situation where this, it's down here, so we need to get up there. We can again do this where you rotate it like that. Rotate 180 degrees, then back down. That'll solve that piece there. Now, let's see. Alright, so you can get this piece. Normally, if you'd want to move this piece to either there or there, you'd have to do some kind of deconstruction. Oh, well, actually, in this case, you don't have to because this row wasn't even solved anyway. So you can do that. And now you can move this piece up there, over and back down. Now let's see what we got. Okay. So I can put these two pieces belong there and there. See that? These two belong there and there. And about reconstruction and deconstruction, I'm happy this case happened because you can deconstruct and reconstruct 2 layers, or 2 I guess rows at the same time. Just rotate this row up and rotate this row up, then rotate it over, and then put those rows back. Now you have to remember the row you're working on because it may get a little confusing. So this second row is the one you're working on. So put the second row into place over here. And now look, you can reconstruct these pretty easily by rotating it over like this, and then just rotate each of these layers up. And now look, they're back to full rows. So now you can just put them back in place. And now we only have one left. So I'll rotate this up, over, back down. Now, this is the last time we're going to have to do this. Rotate this layer up, rotate it over, replace it, back down. Put this row into place. And now, finally, see how this will fit together like that. And we're done. That's how to solve the last 2 centers on any on an 11 by 11, but really any size cube. I think this will apply to V cube 6, or just any, I guess, not just V cubes, but any cube 6 by 6 or higher. But sometimes, you know, it's just more intimidating to do it on larger cubes, even though it's not really that different. It just, you know, it takes a little bit more time. So I hope this helped. That's the conclusion of this video.